Hey guys, Nicole with A-Frayed-Knot. Today I'm going to show you the cutest faux rust technique using some cinnamon Rusty Bell AFK chalk paint, a Dollar Tree corrugated metal piece, a Jennifer Pugh artwork from the Simply Blessed collection, some Mod Podge. We're going to do the burning technique. You're going to need a magnet. It's going to be super easy and fun, so buckle in and check it out. I've got some rusty wire and a rusty belt also, and the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to remove this jute rope from our metal corrugated piece. Again, that was from the Dollar Tree. We're just going to take that off because we're not going to need it. So grab your Rusty Bell chalk paint and give this metal piece a good coat. Get it all over. I'm actually going to put another coat on it. The great thing about the AFK chalk paint is that it'll pretty much cover over anything. Glass, metal, wood, you name it. You can paint over just about anything with this. You don't need to prime it or anything like that ahead of time. Just start painting. So I am adding another coat. Sometimes with metal and glass and that kind of thing, the paint goes on a little bit thinner. So just add another coat. We're going to need that. I'm giving it a quick dry. I'm just going around now and kind of touching up the edges. Again, this is metal, so I just want to make sure I'm not seeing any of the metal peeking through or anything like that. And once in a while, I kind of gouge it with my nails. So I'm just making sure that everything is covered, giving it another quick dry. If you are shopping Jennifer Pugh artwork, make sure you use coupon code AFK10. I just wanted to throw that in real quick and you'll get yourself a nice little savings. So next we're going to use some Mod Podge and we're going to use some cinnamon. Just get your Mod Podge all over your piece once the paint is nice and dry. Make sure the paint is nice and dry. And then just spread that Mod Podge out nice and evenly and then sprinkle your cinnamon all over. Then I'm just taking my paintbrush and I'm coming back and just blotting the cinnamon in. And you see I'm shaking extra cinnamon on there. I'm just adding a little more cinnamon in spots and just taking my paintbrush and dabbing all over it just to make sure the cinnamon stays in place on the Mod Podge. And where it doesn't stay in place, I just add a little bit more. There is Mod Podge on my brush, so that's helping to kind of stick it down. And you see in spaces where I want a little more cinnamon, I just add a little more Mod Podge. This is kind of just going to be layering in certain areas. And then we're just adding more Mod Podge and more cinnamon as I see needed. So it's just real visual, just the way that you like it to look. No real rust that you see on cans is perfect. It actually looks very different in different sections. So that's kind of what I want to achieve with this faux rust look. So next we're going to take our Jennifer Pugh artwork. And again, this is from her Simply Blessed collection. The one I'm using can be for 4th of July in your patriotic decor, but you guys, I love this print. I have this print free and brave on several different things displayed in my home, and I pretty much leave it out through the entire summer. So that's the one I'm using for this project, and next what you see me doing is taking my rusty wire and I am just creating a cute little hanger for this project with the rusty wire, and I'm making some curly cues. I am adding in my rusty bell. And then I'm just sizing up my hanger to the desired length that I like, and then just finishing it off with some curly cues on the other end. I think that looks pretty good, so we'll just go ahead and leave it like that. I see right there that I just need to add a little bit more Mod Podge on the edges. I think the wire kind of rubbed off some of my Mod Podge and my cinnamon, so I'm just adding a little bit right there. It's very forgiving, so if along the way as you're putting it together you see you scraped off some cinnamon, you can just simply blot on some more Mod Podge and add some more cinnamon. So next what I'm going to do is I am taking my print, I've got it cut down to the size I like, and I am going to Mod Podge it onto a piece of cardboard. This is going to make it just a little bit more sturdy for our project. So I just grabbed a piece of cardboard Any type of cardboard will work, and I'm just going to Mod Podge it on. In a minute, you're going to see we're going to add the magnet, and then that's going to stick to our metal. So this is pretty cool. You can actually do it interchangeable. This artwork is not going to be Mod Podge down to our rusty surface. So this very much is an interchangeable project, and I love that. So what I did on my artwork once it was Mod Podge down is I did the burning technique here. Now I know not everybody is a fan of the burning technique, so you can absolutely just sand off the edges. I personally like the way the burning technique looked on this, and keep in mind when you do that, the Mod Podge does stop the flame. I keep everything kind of contained right there where I'm at, let the ashes fall off, and then once everything is cooled down, I just brush it into the trash can. But again, if you're not a fan of that technique, you can just sand off the edges. So I just go around the whole side, make sure everything is burned to my desired liking, and you would do the same thing if you wanted to sand it off. And then once we have that, I'm just going to kind of clean up, and then we're going to get ready to put our artwork on. But first, I see what I want to do is take my midnight color chalk paint and my toothbrush and do what I like to call the fly speck technique. So all I'm going to do is just take my toothbrush, dab it into the midnight color paint, and then just speckle all around on my piece. It just is another little bit of added goodness just to give it a little bit more character. Now we're going to go ahead and size this up and add a magnet. The magnets are from the Dollar Tree, so we're just going to add a magnet to our project. You see how it sticks there nicely, even though we've got the Mod Podge and cinnamon. So I'm just going to add a little bit of hot glue to the back of my cardboard here. You want to make sure you're putting the magnet glued down the right way. Otherwise, it'll repel from your metals. So just make sure you put it down glued the right way. Now we're going to create a bow. The bow I am also going to put a magnet on. So you see that I've got the burlap. I've picked out just some of my favorite ribbons. We're going to crisscross them up, tie them together with some jute rope, and then have a cute little bow. Now again, I did say I'm going to put a magnet on the back of this bow. So this project is interchangeable. You're going to be able to change out your bow and your artwork just depending on what you like. I actually love the colors of this bow, and I feel like we could make it work for Christmas if we wanted to. So I'm just using some of my favorite fabrics, and I'm just shredding them down into little strips. All of my fabrics you can pretty much find at Hobby Lobby. In fact, that's where I have gotten these fabrics that you see here, all from Hobby Lobby. You can also find really cute fabrics at Dollar Tree too, so just keep that in mind. So I'm just stripping all of the fabrics to the width that I like, and then just cut them into strips. So you see how I'm cutting them there into the length of strips. I usually like to go a little longer, so this way I can trim it down to the size that I like. Now with my burlap, I've got a nice square piece of burlap cut. It is bigger than my fabrics, and I'm just taking off some of the burlap strips to make it look frayed at the ends. So I did that. Now I am just laying my fabrics down in an X shape. This kind of takes on the look of a refab bow, and then I like to put the burlap behind it and a little bit of raffia in it, of course, and then take my jute rope and just tie it all together in the center. So lay down that jute rope, put your burlap in the very back. I said lay down the jute rope, but I meant the raffia. So lay the raffia down and then put your burlap in the back. Take your jute rope and then wrap it around the center. You're going to wrap one tail one way and then the other tail the opposite way. And then I just cinch it down so that it's nice and tight. That's the center of your bow. And I like to tie the jute rope, sorry about that, off in the front so that you see the bow in the front. And then you see how our magnet just holds onto our faux rusty surface nicely. We're going to put a magnet behind that bow, and then it will go into the corner up there, and it'll stay nicely also because we have the magnet, and then we can remove it anytime we like and change them out. This is such a fun interchangeable project using the faux rust technique. So you see right there, I'm just adding a little bit of hot glue. Again, make sure you're gluing your magnet down with the right side facing up. Otherwise, the magnet will repel from your project. So a lot of times I just take it and test it onto my surface to make sure which side needs to be facing up. Hot glue it down, and there you have it. If you love this project, make sure you're following me for more. Bye for now.